trading with ADVN. The reason I don't really like it much is because they've got very hybrid damage sources. Jax, Maokai, Lissandra, Tam have a lot of AP damage sources. I think having a lethality champ fits in nice, but this does give them a bit more DPS when it comes down to rushing. Barons, flash forward.
Flash forward, full confidence there as they go in on ADVN. But trading Flash and Ignite for just Flash. If we get jungle attention down here on the bottom side, that could be a big advantage for Astralis. But right now, they're just down a summoner. They have, however, gained a bit of lane prio.
So Jonghoon there was just trying to force ADVN back so they could contest the wave, so they could get level 2 first, I think. Wonder if he's going to go for an Hex Flash on this next melee creep. Look for an all-in. But yeah, no flash. See if they can get jungle down here. Here comes a level 2, and they can match Fnatic on the level 2 as well. I think that's what Jonghoon was afraid of. Eyes on 113. It's going to finish the Raptors, get level 3, and then probably move into bot side jungle. Maybe he knows it's warded there, so the Q over the wall here can do wonders.
Here we go.
In terms of getting into Razork's jungle. Now, what damage can he do? There's a ward that will spot out Jonghoon on the move.
The 113 emote of the week, dabbing Penguin. Is he going to be dabbing after this one, though, as Jonghoon goes forward onto Reckless? Gets the cleanse out and the flash.
That was way too defensive from Reckless. He didn't even know what Xayah had there. If she had the pullback, he could cleanse it away. I feel like maybe a bit too scared. 113.
Take the camp, get the stun, instant follow-up. Razork now going to be in trouble, zooming out of there. Courtesy of the phase rush, otherwise he might have just died.
Yeah, he's really low. He wants to get towards his blue.
Just keeps coming.
Big pressure from 113. ADVN's leaning to help, but both bot lanes have no flash, so if they go too deep, Jonghoon can collapse. He's ganking them behind. Is he hiding
But this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation. He can just walk up here and they have to walk away from the tower and they can't approach the wave. This is so obnoxious. And Reckless, where's he going to go? He doesn't have a cleanse. They're just going to burn him down on the bottom side of the map. That is first blood for Astralis.
What an absolute disaster. He's lost so many minions now, Reckless. That's 2 or 3 waves down the drain. His summoners are gone. He's level 2. First blood to the Xayah. It's almost 800 gold lead. 1.1 in total in bot side in the first 3 minutes. It's not gone right there, but you can see Astralis fighting to get the push with that early flash.
And if this feels familiar, it should, because the last time these two teams played against each other, Kabe was a monster. Kabe was a big problem for Fnatic, and despite some early success on the top side of the map, he ended up being unstoppable in this game. And here we have it, just like it was in Week 3, Day 3, that once again, the bot lane of Astralis taking over with the help of their jungler.
Definitely probably one of the best AD carries we've got in the league right now. He's just performing so well in this Astralis lineup. Top wave stacking for Oscar. See if they want to look to crash it and try to dive. It would be really hard to get that wave in. It's in a good spot for him. No need to overforce. And Razork will put a pink down and back away. There was pings on one of the waves. This mid wave coming in now, there was pings from Astralis. I wonder if a leader was saying, I need a help on this wave, or Humanoid needs to push this out. Can we look for a gank? But as Humanoid steps up, the jungle support are running towards the bot side of the map instead. Maybe the Sejuani Leona can look for a kill onto the Varus. Look for a dive. It's not been spotted yet. No summoners, only Ignite up for ADVN. See if they can get the wave in, because he must be calling for something here.
Rinse and repeat. Oh, falling behind like this.
He's going to Q over the wall, I think. He's going to get level 4 off of this and maybe look to Q over the wall. See if Razork spots him. I think the wave's coming into Astralis, but they've definitely got a play set up here. Just depends if the Maokai sees him.
And this has to be so frustrating for Fnatic. We talked about it on Euphoria, you weren't there, but they talked about how 113, crazy pathing the early game. Reckless and he used to be teammates, he knows all about it, and despite knowing all about it, once again, he's managed to pull it off in the early game where he's just living on the bottom side of the jungle. And while these are two of our most active junglers in the league, as we see a bit of trading here, notice how far behind 113 falls, and it's because he's willing to just sit in enemy jungle and go for these crazy kind of plays, and it's paying off in a big way. And while his numbers are suffering, you can see how much bigger Kabe's CS differences are going to be, how much bigger the XP difference is going to be just because of the time he's spending on bottom side.
It's so obnoxious. I remember playing in 2019 against a jungler called Mowgli who played for Vitality. He would just do red buff, walk into your jungle, and stand there and look at you for 4 minutes.
Yeah, we called it psychopathing on the desk because he would literally just, fight you at every camp.
And then he won Worlds as a coach last year, so, I mean, he instills that mindset. 113's definitely got that gameplay. You can see he just does a couple camps, runs into your jungle, puts wards down, shows a few times, it makes it look like there's a play happening. And what happens is your laners get worried, so they come to you to help you out, and they lose the push. So what you're doing is you're being a magnet for the enemy laners, and it gives your laners the push, so they can just keep mid push, they can keep bot push, and they're constantly scared of this jungler just sitting there. Yeah,
and now you can see 1k individual gold lead for Kabe. 30 CS lead 6 minutes into the game. This is a disaster, and you have to wonder if the uncertainty on that bottom side of the map is why Reckless on that first engage forward or second engage forward from Jonghoon immediately flash cleanse. Maybe expected 113 to be there, you know, maybe just scared of what was going to happen. Ultimately, burning both those sums ends up being a death sentence in the end. Now they get the Drake, and the thing is, bot lane smashing and top lane is scaling, so you're just living your best life.
You really are. Wave's gonna crash. Big CS lead on bot side right now for Kobe. And I wonder what they're gonna do with this, because Herald's up in 1 minute. Do they move up and try to look for a lane swap? They have GP ult that's already been used now. I think he just used it top to get that wave in. Oscar is gonna be able to hold it just outside the tower range, so that's gonna be nice. Razork's gonna get this blue buff. Not close to level 6 just yet though, but you can see Jonghoon is moving up. Will get spotted.
Oh. 113 now walking forward. Jonghoon, as you highlighted, has been spotted. Sapling will spot 113, so not too much concern here as Humanoid can just get the Frozen Claw out to safety. Leader just getting a bit aggressive. And Humanoid on Playmakers, you know, I've gotten used to seeing on the Azir, as we've highlighted so many times. But on Playmakers, he can be the guy who builds these leads, who starts to turn this game around. I think the struggle is, when you look at the mid-jungle here, they don't have a lot of upfront damage, you know, compared to the opposite side. Yeah, like Leader on one item, he can kill Razork and Humanoid with a combo if he's got the backup.
Yeah. Same damage share mid-jungle really stings. Normally with Lissandra, you want Wukong, Lee Sin.
Yep.
You want like a Vi, something that can follow up, get some nice burst in there. But yeah, Maokai Lissandra is not great in locking down a target.
And the good news for them is that Leader went Berserkers. And it makes sense, because again, this is one of the best times in the game for either of the brothers, Yone and Yasuo. But if he had Tenacity, he would actually be unkillable in that lane.
He would. And that's the problem. I think Fnatic's damage share is a little bit all over the place. If they didn't have the lethality on the Varus, we'll see how it pans out. They do have a lot of DPS, and they will shred through neutrals. Just the question is, can they get to those neutrals? Right now, Oscar's doing a great job, though, being able to get that CS lead in top. He's going to be forced to run back now, though, without that teleport, so Finn might get a plate or two.
Positive sign to shift the gold lead, and GP, obviously, gold numbers are kind of fake for this champion, because part of the strength of his kit is that he just gets more income. But despite the CS advantage that Oscar has been able to build, the plate and the additional gold from the creeps from the parlay and the first strike. So he's really just making money here.
Yeah, he is. 400 gold lead. I think there's a big play in the next minute for Astralis. What will happen is 113 will get his top camps down. He'll either base or he'll run bot side. GP ult as well. I think they have a 4-man dive angle with a global ult and a herald on Fnatic's bot lane if they're not careful. Their window is before Tahm Kench hits level 6, obviously, so we'll see if Astralis find that. Leader's just trying to push Humanoid back right now. Has no TP just yet, and of course he can afford to do things like this because he has lifesteal.
Yeah, now is where the lane gets very obnoxious for Humanoid. He does not have the luxury of the same sustain. They're probably going to donate this fruit over to him. And if you can't kill him in the all-in, you're not going to outpoke this champion in lane.
Fnatic are aware of this 4-man bot play with the global. Razork trying to defend it.
Ulti now going forward. Leader ready. At a moment's notice, he can just leap in and ult, looking for the lineup. Now dashing forward, but he's not going to connect whatsoever. Do they have enough damage to burn through the Yone? They do not yet. Leader now going in, going to finish off the kill. And just like that, Advian in the midst of everybody. They can't quite burn through Alpha. Reckless over the wall. Reckless could be massive. The kill back. Will it be enough? 113 now chasing onto Humanoid. Humanoid flashing out to safety. Just getting a bit of a slow back onto the remaining members of Astralis. So far, 1 for 1.
Fnatic managed to respond, but the health bars are blinking. They get out. Humanoid will be able to catch this wave. Leader will lifesteal and has the red buff to regen, so might need to be careful here, Humanoid. Advian's wondering if there's some kind of dive happening, just trying to cover his mid laner. But Astralis, oh, here it comes, Leader.
No way. Damage, auto Q. Easy!
Easy does it. Leader showing up once again on these playmakers. Disrespect from Humanoid, he's there to punish it. That was a 1-2-3 Yone in the draft. No fear whatsoever, just blind picks it and it's working.
And the counter coming out, while it's good at surviving, obviously not great in those individual duels, so a bit difficult here. Full confidence from Jonghoon.
Yeah. Gets the Glacial Augment down. Razork tries to flash away, stuns him on it, and then Leader misses the ult here. I think he didn't have E up, so
he was on cooldown.
Yeah, he was on cooldown, but I think about here it comes up again, so he can E flash Q auto, gets that kill, and then Advien's over the wall thinking we need to get something here. Reckless comes around the side, misses the Q onto Jonghoon, but manages to get the kill with the E anyway. So it's not the end of the world. Copper used his ult for avoiding that. Humanoid flashed away. A lot of summoners burnt on both sides, but you can see Astralis is just etching ahead now. They've still got the Herald, and Kobe is going to get another plate.
And this is big. Again, not only is there a massive advantage on the bottom side of the map, still Kabe holding on to 1K despite Reckless getting that kill, just the difference of plates and CS at this stage. But Leader also wildly far ahead. They can full commit here, but he can just instantly go back with the Unstoppable. Now they need to follow up. They need to burn everything to take out this Yone. Kill the Yone is the name of the game, and they are going to make it happen. But Humanoid has now been locked up, swallowed up though, and he will not go down as Advian is there to save the day.
Shut down onto Leader. Advian picked it up, which stings a bit, but Fnatic managed to get that kill. Astralis were hovering for a bot play. It looked like they wanted to put the Herald down, but 113 and Jonghoon move up. Maybe Leader wants to all in on the wave, wanted to take the 3v3, but ultimates are on cooldown, and they weren't up for the exchange. Fnatic come out ahead. Kobe is still going to get this bot tower, but I think this was the play from the very start. 113 still not dropped the Herald. Maybe he's going around to place it just to make sure he's safe, the Herald's safe, and they can get this first tower blood. But it does make Kobe a bit unsure whether he can walk up.
8 seconds on his ultimate. Would be more comfortable to approach them. Reckless already has his ultimate. You've got 2 members hovering around on the bottom side, but as long as the Astralis aren't going to try to pull the trigger on the dive, it looks like Fnatic are okay to just let them fight over the CS.
Ooh, Reckless, no ward in that bush. Hex flash over. Might have to use his flash here.
Spotted out ulti. Is going to connect. Instant cleanse.
Yep.
Quick reaction there from Reckless. Not going to get taken out.
No Leon ult. Can't land the slow, so he'll get out alive. Does he get the Herald down?
Oh no, he mistimed on the auto.
Auto didn't come out in time. Didn't manage to get it down. Astralis will get the dragon off that. 2 dragons, 12 minutes, 30 seconds in the game. They could be looking at a soul in around 10 minutes time. It's only Cloud though. We'll see how they move their bot lane around the map now. They could put GP towards the bot side. Let's watch Finn on the minimap here. Looks like he is running down there, so they're going to swap the Xayah top and try to force down this next tower.
Oh, what? Whoop. That.
Happy little accent.
No one saw that, leader, don't worry. No one saw you E into the wall, Q into the wall, and then walk back to lane.
Fnatic didn't see it, so as long as he keeps playing with confidence,
no idea.
They don't know that he's made these mistakes. So now here comes the shift up. See what Fnatic does about it, because Reckless is pushing out bot. See if he decides to take a base and match, but Oscar has been getting a small CS lead. Hasn't really mattered though, like you said, first strike in the plates are enough to put Finn ahead.
And normally, if we kept this 1v1 going, maybe he would be able to pull ahead in this. You know, Divine Sunder are a lot more laning sustained than something like the Essence Reaver, but they've swapped the lanes. They put Kabe up in top lane against Oscarinen, and it's not really so easy to go in onto that Xayah. It could be a death sentence if there's anyone else waiting in the darkness, and there is indeed, as Yonghoon and the rest of the team setting up some vision control on the top side.
See those 2 pinks on the entrances are just doing so much work for Astralis right now. And I need to group up and sweep this out, but Reckless is still bot. Need him to base, get Oscar down there, get Reckless back up here and get rid of these pinks, but looking for a cheeky play there. Oscar is going to dodge the stun.
Follow up, they're still going to go for the play anyway, just try to burn through the Ignite already ticking. That's so much damage, there's so much follow-up. Look at the confidence. All of Astralis stepping forward, but Oscar staying alive for now.
Jonghoon is going on the first target that appears in his sights. Whether it's Razork, whether it's Advienne, whether it's Oscar, he's just jumping straight on top of them, dropping the Ignite and forcing them back. Manages to get his flash. Has the TP here, Oscar, so he should be able to get back to bot tier 2 in time. I wonder if he TPs to it. That's a pretty big wave. Underneath the tower, Kobe still has the ult though. Reckless no cleanse. Looks like they'll have a bit of control while 113 clears out his camps.
Yeah, good for Kabe. Able to step up here, despite being at a man disadvantage just because he has all the summoners and the ulti up and available. Even if he did burn the Gale Force on the previous play. Got Oscar in his flash, which is a big deal.
So what's the next play? Looks like Herald is. Fnatic. Trying to get some vision around it. 113 is going to start it up. That ward doing a lot of work to spot out the jungle support. It'll now get pinked. And now Oscar needs to be ready for the TP. Very close to that level 11. He probably wants to push out another minion before he does. TP in. Astralis need to be clean on the turn here. Jonghoon doesn't have ult for another 10-15 seconds.
Leader Q stacked, waiting to use it. Ulti now coming in just to create some space. Finn throwing down his ult on the backside. Leader waiting, fishing for an angle here. He's going to go in, he's going to connect up to 3. Leader immediately now fishing for the follow-up. Humanoid going to ult himself to try to stay alive. The stun, is it going to come through in the final moments? 113 going to land now, and now immediately to turn and burn back. Oscarinen and the rest of the Fnatic backline standing strong. Not getting caught up in it, and that's the kill back. Razork, he smells the blood in the water. He wants more for the team, but it's Kave versus the world now. The flash backwards, trying to finish Oscarinen, but just ticking health bar, blinking as he goes sub 100 health, but manages to survive.
3 for 1 for Fnatic. How did they pull that out? Jonghoon and Leaders engaged, looked really good on the backline, but there was moments almost where you could take a breath where nothing was happening. Fnatic's health bars weren't going down. Let's look at it again. Finn drops the ultimate, tries to look for barrels off to the side. Watch the turn from Jonghoon and Leader here. How many targets they landed on? Ult comes out onto Oscar from 113. There's the E-flash, there's the ult.
Only hits 1.
And now watch the health bars of Fnatic, because you think, wow, the divers are on top of them. Kobe gets a great ult and a pullback. Surely they should all just get melted here, but it's just Jonghoon dealing damage. Leader gets pulled back as 113's rooted and does as much burst as possible. Finn flashes forward and stopwatches to buy time. Then the only remaining damage is Kobe. Oscar drops the E. Make sure he's alive. Razork re-engages it, and then front to back they win. Again, Kobe can't get Razork. Then he tries to get Oscar with the E-flash, but he also lives on 1 HP, so unlucky for Kobe not to pick up a couple kills there. Maybe a few more crits, and he had it.
And right there, I think we saw a lot of AoE just coming out from the Fnatic composition. Reckless's ult hitting so many people, and while initially it looked like Leader had a good ult, ultimately I think he only hit Humanoid, who's immediately able to self-ult there and stop any fallout from coming through. And That's a pretty big deal because, again, if Reckless can get ahead, if Oscar Inning can get ahead, those are really the tools that you need to win this game.
And theoretically, if you're diving onto these champions, the more people around Jax, the more resistances he's going to get. The Lissandra has a self-ult and probably a stopwatch soon. Tom Kench can eat Varus.
And yeah, on-hit Varus is essentially a DPS check. You either one-shot him or he's going to kill everybody. This champion does so much damage with this build if he is left unattended in a fight. And Astralis burned everything they had just getting into range of Reckless, but the second leader's ult didn't connect. They couldn't stop Reckless from just auto-attacking throughout that entire fight.
I think Astralis need to look at these team fights and try to problem solve it a bit. It looks like diving onto the carries is a mistake. One has a self-ult, one has a Tahm Kench. I think they're going to have to burn through frontline, you know? They're going to have to dive on top of the Tahm Kench and Maokai and then play off of just single kills and take it slow, because right now this dive just feels really hard. Unless they catch someone sleeping, they have got the chain CC for that 10 seconds on the Dragon. We'll put them on soul point. Finn's moving down without the TP. Oscar is as well. Leaders off to the side. They're popping in the Herald, but I'm not sure if that's going to crash. Fnatic might be able to stop that looking at Razork's position if they walk up a bit.
They run it off to the side. They're just trying to zone them away. Everything in on the Humanoid. They need one shot before he gets to choose the ultimate, but no, Advian is there. They take him over the wall with the Yone ult. That means Humanoid makes it out to safety. Herald will charge through, but that is frustrating for the side of Astralis. The CC layering not quite perfect.
This could be a big mistake here for Astralis if they think they can fight this Dragon. Humanoid has TP and he still has ult. I wonder if they remember that the ult wasn't used. Need to be really careful here. Kobe, no cleanse. He could get chain CC'd and melted through, but they tried to dive onto Lissandra. They don't have the damage to get him down. Here's the TP. Here's the ult.
Coming in. Jonghoon knows that they immediately have to pull the trigger, trying to burn through the Tahm Kench. Oscar in off to the side. Counter-strike, getting ready to come out now. As Humanoid right behind Kave, ready to line up all the damage, but no one's there for the follow-up. So for now, Kave stands. Kave still throwing out autos left and right, but it does not matter. In goes Oscar and in go Fnatic, and the snares are beautiful, but they will not finish the job as Leona not quite going to come through on the Frozen Thrall.
They fell for the baits. Fnatic gave up a little bit of mid-push. Astralis thought they could take it and move into the pit with leaders TP and force another 5v5, but Humanoid TP's behind them, still has that ultimate. I think he even misplayed it a little bit. He could have just straight up ulted Kobe, but he went for himself just because he was a bit scared of the burst coming through. But either way, they get the kills they wanted. No shutdown on Kobe yet, though. See how much he can do when he gets that second item in base. Leader's going to TP and get that top tier 1 as a response. Gold is now evened up, but you can see the way these team fights are going. It's so hard for Astralis to actually find the right target. Oscar is just really fed now. That makes it even harder to find Jax. So everything committed onto Humanoids, but not enough damage.
Watch Leader's ultimate here. This sucks for Leader because he takes him over the wall into Advian's range.
Yeah.
That is so frustrating.
I think if Advian got to the wall, he'd have the range anyway, but it also took him out of the Leona E, so Jonghoon couldn't get on top of him to stun on top of it. A couple of seconds there maybe would have changed the fight, but here Astralis think, well, Lissandra's base, no ult perhaps, TP's right behind them. Kobe has no cleanse. They think they can turn away from the TP because they don't have enough time to run. And here, Flash W, ult comes from Kobe. I think Humanoid could have just ulted Kobe here, but he was a bit scared of getting bursted down. The slow was enough, not to get him, but to get the other two next to him. Good knock-up. Finishes the kills.
Massive. And of course, once Lissandra finds that first kill and these thralls start coming out, it could be big, but here we go. One more engage in the mid lane. Jonghoon now locked up. Humanoid falling left with a little bit of damage, but Leader now looking for the ult to the backside. He's not going to get the connection. He's going to be forced to leave immediately. 1-1-3 taken out. But now it's Oscar! Into 4 members, straight into the back line. Unkillable as Razork wants to keep the play going, but I think he's overextended. He's overstayed his welcome. That final tower shot, not quite enough. Locket coming in clutch. It is neck and neck in these fights. The goal dead even. Yes, Fnatic are winning in kills, but now everything is tied up.
The amount of times Fnatic have gotten away with a slither of health under 5% is incredible to me. Astralis, are they going to force a Baron here? They have the damage for it. I think they are probably threatening it to keep Fnatic on the map. Not going to go towards it, though.
Shield bow plus the BF sword. You've got Navori for Kabe, maybe, but I just don't think it's an option at this stage.
They were trying to catch Fnatic sleeping, right? You think that the 4-man is going to base, that's it, the play's over. But if they could get to Nash without Fnatic having vision, that would have been an easy sneak. They would have lost mid-tower for it, but it was good to try. Needs a base now, though. But you can see this Tahm Kench pick is doing so much work for Fnatic. Even when Humanoid ults Jonghoon, he's still fine against Leader.
Yeah, but you want to talk about picks, I want to talk about players. Because while the pick is doing good, there's one man who continues to impress, and that is Oscar on the top side of the map. Yes, his week 1 was disastrous. Yes, he's been getting better, but I did not think he could continue that trajectory forever. But in this game, he is playing so incredibly well. We can see why they didn't prioritize immediately counterpicking mid lane, why they prioritized taking away that cannon just so they could secure this Jax for him. Absolutely paying off. Those are just his week 3 stats, but if they're anything to go off of, this game thus far, his week 4 stats are going to be damn good as well.
And that's all you need from a player when you commit resources in the draft to them. If you say, pick me Jax on 3 and give me 2 bans, I'll be able to win my matchup no matter what, then having that trust and then having the execution is all you need from a rookie in the top lane. He's only 100 gold ahead, though. So despite Finn being down 0-2, And down in CS, the GP, the first strike, tower platings are helping him keep even. He will lose the 1v1 though. I think those Jax items are a bit absurd at the moment.
Definitely very strong. And it's really interesting when you look back to the game that these teams played in week 3, because while the bot lane was suffering, as they were in this game, you know, Humanoid was on a tear with that LeBlanc. Part of the reason I think we saw it banned away, ultimately it was Fnatic, I think, over-forcing in that game that cost so much of the lead that they were to build for themselves. And now we're in a similar situation where it's Astralis who I think are the ones over-forcing a little bit. And I think this is a good read from Fnatic to say that we know Astralis are a team who like to be super aggressive. Let's draft the tools that can mitigate so much of these more aggressive picks and aggressive plays.
Definitely. I think this Tahm Kench is a huge thorn in the side for Astralis' champion pools in the way they like to play. I wonder if it's something they, even if they win, take away in the next game. But we'll have to wait and see. Kobe is sitting on 2 items right now. Reckless matching it, but he's still down almost 2,000 gold. Dragon in 130. Both teams looking at this Baron. Kobe doesn't have flash yet, so it becomes really hard for him to walk up into this river. Fnatic have a lot of chain CC, and I think Leader needs that second item. Needs to get towards that BT.
Yeah, BT could go IE as well. I mean, 2 items really for the Yone is where he's going to be strongest relative to the composition as we get later and later into the game. Yone doesn't fall off, but he's really reliant on hitting 3 4-man ultimates, because you can't just rely on out-healing or out-damaging in 2v2 or 3v3 skirmishes anymore.
I think ideally for Astralis, what they've realized now is maybe we should slow it down. We're taking too many fights. We're playing GP Yone Xayah. It's not going to hurt to give us a bit more time, get QSS on the Yone, get a couple more crit items on him as well with the GP too. So they're just trying to slow it down. They know Fnatic can't do Baron. They have got 3 blue orbs. So what you do as a team when you're behind is you invest more in blue orbs. They've got 3 now. They should be able to track the Baron pretty easily if they rotate them well. And they use Jonghoon as kind of like a face check when they push out these waves.
Yeah. I think the struggle here now is as we get later and later into the game, there's a world where Astralis, if you can find a pick onto Oscar, if you can find a pick onto Humanoid or Reckless, these fights get so much easier for you. But while Oscar's new, Humanoid and Reckless are such veteran players. They're good at playing side lane. They're good at not giving anything up in a lot of those instances. Now we see 1-1-3 overstaying a welcome on the bottom side. They're going to force out the flash, but traded for 2 ultimates now on the side of Fnatic.
Bit of a confusing move there. Trying to get vision on his own. Doesn't even have that many wards in his inventory. He doesn't have any, actually, unless he placed it down and it got removed. By the way, Reckless ult and Humanoid ult is down. That actually means Astralis can fight.
Window of opportunity, forcing out the flash from Advian. So at the end of the day, 2 ults traded for 1 ult and a flash traded on both sides.
To be honest, I think this gives Astralis a dragon. That walk in and that face check, the fact that they lost 2 of their biggest ultimates in the fight, does that mean that Fnatic just give it up? I think it is. Just going to push out top here as Humanoid.
Oscar's
TP in though if Oscar, he's TPing in. Actually, they do want to fight.
They're going to turn and burn. They know that the counter-strike is gone. They just want to give him a bit more space. That Maokai ult is not doing a whole lot. Leader coming over the wall, trying to follow up, trying to get all the burst damage down that they possibly can. Razork now taken out. Oscar is so damn tanky.
Oscar?
Can they finish the job? Kave now stepping forward. He's all on his lonesome. The shutdown. They've isolated him. Kave now walking forward. No fear whatsoever. Advian trying to back up. Advian trying to keep that AD carry healthy, but there is nothing left for them in this play. It is Astralis' dragon all the way.
2 big kills and they'll get the objective they came for. Soul points for them, but you have to wonder why Fnatic wants to fight that. They could look for a top tier 1 on a cross map. They don't have Lissandra ult, they don't have Varus ult, they're split. A bit confusing to walk in and try and contest. It's not like it's the end of the world. They can play for the next dragon. Didn't have great position, but yeah, Astralis quick to punish. They won't get a Baron off the back of it. You can see Advian stayed on the map to put wards down just in case, but I think the 5v5 contest without ults can work if you're together. But the fact that they weren't together and they didn't have the ults just means nothing really came as they may have expected it. I mean, Humanoid TPing behind, but look how long it takes for him to get there. By the time he arrives, his jungler's dead, his top laner's in a 1v4, and he doesn't have ults, so he can't really threaten Finn.
And I mean, there's just no room for them to play. Kave setting up feathers onto Advian. Reckless has to face check a GP. He needs to auto-attack those barrels or they will take him out, and this is just much better positioning from the side of Astralis, punishing Oscar for being on that side and punishing Fnatic for overcommitting to that play. Now we'll have to see how Fnatic respond to this one. 5 members, or 4 members in the area. Oscar has TP, but Astralis are shredding this objective.
I think they want to fight here. TP coming in from Oscar. Looks like Astralis wanted the TP and wanted to disengage. Tank of the ult coming through. I think Fnatic might want to look for a fight. Reckless has the ult, tosses it out, misses onto Jonghoon. And Astralis, I think they do want to fight, you know. Reckless doesn't have flash. They burned all of these
Reckless
summoners.
no ult, Razork no ult. Maybe an opportunity for Astralis. I guess they don't want to risk it. I guess they're happy with just the TP.
Yeah, that allows Finn to just go bot and kind of sit by his lonesome. There's no real threat of losing their bot tier 1 as well now. Because if Oscar overextends down there, Finn can TP up and they can 5v4 a Baron start. Maybe they're going to track the bases here. Need to get rid of some of these wards. And now we'll see how Astralis play the map out, because they do have this TP advantage. And it can be pretty big.
What are they going to do with it for now? As you called, Finn being sent to the bottom lane. And Fnatic maybe hoping they can find a pick here, but there's not really a lot of angles at this moment in time. It's once again Astralis. Oscar's on the top side. They could contest this, but Fnatic...
Oh, he's basing though. If he cancels that base, they can maybe contest this. Yes, he does. What's the health bar though?
TP now being matched. Are they willing to full commit on this one? They've burned the advantage that they had for getting that GP kill. There's so many feathers. I think they can just finish this. It's not really a 50-50 if they burst it at the same time. They're going to get it. Leader going to stop the play from coming through.
Oh my god. That stop right there from 113 and Leader and Jonghoon was perfect. The solar eclipse from Leona straight on top of the ultimate of Yone, chain CC'd Humanoid and Razork, and they couldn't even walk in. So as much as it looked like a 50-50, Astralis, cool, calm, collected, they had that under control. Within a minute and a half time, they managed to get themselves a Baron, just forcing it in Fnatic's face and playing over windows.
And credit to Astralis for kind of righting the ship, for figuring out, hey, we're playing a little too aggressive, for slowing the game down, as you highlighted, for waiting for these windows of opportunity. One of the strengths of having double AD threats, in this case the Yone and the Xayah, triple if you count the GP as well, who wasn't on the take really, is you can stretch that objective so quickly, leveraging that strength really well, punishing Fnatic for being uncertain around those plays. And this is something that, again, we talked about on Euphoria, where Astralis are a team who, if you're ever caught sleeping for even a moment, if it's to catch the wrong wave, if it's to position in the wrong place on the map, Astralis are a team who will try and punish you, and they have more than successfully punished getting this Baron.
They are very aggressive, aren't they? Even when they're down in kills, they just keep forcing and forcing and forcing, and if you give them one window of tempo or you just take one bad base, they're going to take an objective or they're going to take a fight with the numbers advantage or force a TP. And now with this Baron, we'll see how the siege unfolds. Leader's pushed out top, has the TP. Looks like they're moving 4-man into this bot side jungle. Fnatic looking to contest, perhaps.
Death Rush. Leader nowhere in the area.
Yeah, pushing in this bot wave now. Pretty big. The next one is going to come in as well. They could use GP ult to zone them or the Sejuani.
Try to burn through Razork. Razork very squishy with the phase rush, but CC not quite all connecting there.
Pressure point is mid, though. I think Astralis are just buying time. If Fnatic go in, Leader will TP. If they don't, they'll get a tier 2 mid. It's a win-win for Astralis, and Fnatic are going to have to back off. They're going to lose the bot tower as well. Maybe they can defend this mid one, actually. Leader not confident enough to step up. But it's a real dire situation.
Taking their time. Slow, controlled game. And that's the thing about the Fnatic composition is if you misengage into them, it's so incredibly strong, but Fnatic have to be really careful about pulling the trigger on these engages. Leaders in the mid lane. Oscar has found the angle. Oscar, can you find the backline? Stepping in, looking for an opportunity, but there's no one there to back him up. They peeled back well so far. Now they're going to find one kill and be happy. The TP coming in from Leader. Leader going to fish for an angle onto the backside, but Razork is doing everything he can to keep that Yone away from his carry, and he will succeed. Leader trying to get something done, but Reckless is firing back. Leader now making it out to safety. Fnatic do their best to hold the line. Astralis only losing Jonghoon in the process.
Yeah, Humanoid and Oscar on 1 HP. 20 seconds on this Dragon spawn. I think Astralis' position means they can rush it down. The question is, does Fnatic want to commit TPs? Yes, they do. 10 seconds on the spawn. Sold for Astralis. Can they get here in time? Razork is way too far away and has no smite. 113 trying to slow them down.
Ready to go over the wall. Leader no ultimate, but
Reckless has ult in 4 seconds. He could be the game changer here.
Q stacked. They're backing away. I don't think they don't even need to flip this. This Drake does not matter to Astralis. Fnatic 5 members in the area should be able to take this one.
He has Q and he has Flash here. 113. He can play for steal if he wants to. Leader's just trying to be a nuisance.
Going over, harassing, but that cooldown won't be up again. Oscar waiting over the wall. They're now just going to focus on Advia. The Drake has been taken down by the side of Fnatic, buying themselves a bit more time. Oscar in no man's land, knocked up. Blast Cone. A little bit weird there, but he is going to make it out to safety. Oscar with the clean sidestep, but it will not be clean. It will be clean enough. The man's movement just does not stop, but where's he going from here? Ulti not going to connect. He just keeps sidestepping. You can't hit him. He's juking. You can't hit him. You can't hit him. You can hit him as well. You can hit him. They can hit him. Yes,
yeah, they can hit him. No more jumping there. No more wards left. Couldn't escape. Looking for Reckless. Got his cleanse on the slow. So Astralis weren't even focused on that Dragon. They were focused on the fight. They got a couple kills off the back end of it. Not the end of the world to give Fnatic that second Dragon, but they won't translate it into any objectives. Oscar trying his best to run away. Fancy feet. But we'll see that again. 113, just look at his positioning. You can see Dragon at 5k, 113 engaging onto Tom Kench, Qs him as well, so you know that they're just playing for fight. Leader's trying to commit with the flash as well. And I think Leader here with the Blast Cone looked a little bit funky, but what he's doing here is just taking it away from Oscar.
Yep.
Actually, as I say that, Astralis are still sieging.
Continuing to step forward, Humanoid is barely able to make it out of there. Leader's going to be forced to snap back there on the Soul Unbound, and Astralis gonna have to back off on this push, but breaking that inhibitor tower makes it so easy in the future.
Interesting. I mean, they were sieging for about 3.5 minutes there, Astralis, on and off, including the Dragon. Finally backing away. They must have a lot of gold to spend for Kobe and Leader, but both of them lost Flash in that last fight. See if Fnatic can make wonders out of it. 1 minute 30 seconds on the Baron means our flashes won't be up for a 30-second to a minute window. Maybe they can look to punish that.
Oscar getting stronger. Looks like Zanya is potentially the next item to come out, trying to punish the very AD-heavy nature of this composition. Something that we did talk about in the draft, but of course Razork opting for no real tanky items here. Means he's not able to do too much outside of the Mythic there.
Kobe melts through Oscar, you could see in the last fight, so he needs to be careful. No flash. Fnatic sending up a trap. If anyone walks up for that pink, they're about to get the chain CC of their life.
It's great. Generations of Fnatic players brought together by the Fnatic Death Brush.
There it is.
Death Wall in this case as they start to step forward. Oscar in locked up before he can find his way into the back line, and immediately the turn comes out. Devour has been burned. Leader fishing for an angle forward, not going to connect on the Q there. Is going to hurt. Triple Barrel comes in, throwing a little bit of damage down as Humanoid. He's going to make his way out.
Yeah, really low HP here. Fnatic have to catch the waves. No TP on Humanoid, but he has to recall. Maybe Astralis want to go towards this Baron in 30 seconds, but Humanoid should be back in time for that. BT really close, being picked up here for Reckless. A couple of ultimates used on the side of Astralis, but the Tahm Kench saves the day for Oscar. But you can see how squishy he is. Instantly melt through. Leader went all the way to top and got that wave out by the looks of it. Made it so it's slow pushes, but I think they're looking for round 2 here, Astralis.
113 relatively low, all things considered. Does still have access to the Redemption as well as the Aftershock, so not too concerned. But Fnatic coming in, have to be careful about fighting in this choke. That goes for really either side.
Yeah. Jonghoon ults up in 5 seconds.
113 still stepping forward. I think almost begging for ults to be baited out. Jonghoon on the flank. E forward onto Razor. Going to lock up one. Now Leader goes into the backside, but the ult does not connect onto anybody. They're trying to burn through Reckless. Reckless locked up. Reckless taking out. They know there is no Tahm Kench Devour, so there will be no reprieve from the onslaught that the Astralis are bringing into this jungle. Fnatic running for the hills. It was balanced on a knife's edge, or so it appeared to us, but Astralis had the trump card up their sleeves the entire time. They baited out the cooldowns. They made the play necessary, and now they will take game 1 in effortless fashion.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the respawns. There's nothing Oscar can do here. He's 1v5 with his ultimate, so I'll just jump in and try and get the wave because it's as good as over. There was a massive layer of chain CC onto Reckless there with no cleanse. I think it was Jonghoon with the ult, so great bait out. Managed to get the kills. Nowhere for him to go. Couldn't even flash. And Astralis just so aggressive in this first game.
Yeah. And I mean, massive game 1, very back and forth early game. Absolutely the Astralis show on the bottom side of the map. Mid-game, Fnatic firing.
And they picked it against Olaf, so we'll see.
And how do you feel?
Last pick of that final counter pick, just to make sure that they have the luxury of a matchup that, you know, they don't have to blind pick, especially maybe in the mid lane.
Honestly, Jonghoon is just such a monster, isn't he? He's just kind of like the driving force behind Astralis in a lot of these games. When he's on a melee support, he looks like such a standout star player. So bans are coming in. We'll see what direction both these teams go through. I wonder if Fnatic is discussing this Yone blind pick. Do they have a better answer to it? Is Lissandra the best way? Jax ban for Astralis to change things up?
Interesting. So identifying the Jax is potentially the bigger issue. Oscar was huge on the Jax in that game. Ultimately couldn't make it count in the team fights, but now the Xayah
Vi is open.
Gonna get taken away. Vi is up and available. Could potentially prompt Fnatic to respond with something like a Lulu Zeri for their bot lane matchup, but Lulu for Advi and Lulu Zeri for Reckless and Advi, and I don't think it's the best way for them to play.
I think Rakan is the direction you go in as Astralis, to be honest. Like, picking Rakan is probably your best bet, but they're gonna go for Maokai denial from Razork. I don't think he'll mind that too much. I see Sejuani as a good pick for him. I feel like Vi is also a great pick, depending on what you choose through bot lane. If you want to go Vi, you can
with
also...
with Xayah off the board, Vi is so much better too.
Yeah, I think maybe if Astralis go down the Zeri route, the Vi does work. You don't really want to pick up Zeri into Maokai, perhaps is the direction they want to go in.
Okay.
So now I think we'll see what Kobe wants to pick now, because I think with the Zyban, I mean, it gets a bit complicated. We've seen Lucian Nami today already, but I'm not a big fan. I think Aphelios is the next in line as best AD carry. I feel like Aphelios Thresh.
Where is Aphelios in our league right now?
Yeah, there's no Aphelios whatsoever yet, but I really think Aphelios Thresh, Aphelios Lulu is such a force to be reckoned with. Just feels like such a powerful pick. They're going to go Sivir instead, it looks like.
Okay.
Sivir Karma maybe is the direction they're thinking. Sivir Rakan, yeah, good engage.
And
so
I
no
mean,
Aphelios yet.
Sivir certainly very good tools into the Vi. You can try to smite away the spell shield, but it's a difficult thing to do. Now the Rakan as well for reliable, hard engage. You know what Jungkook could do on this pick. And Fnatic, what is the answer here? You feel like they should just try to lock support.
Last time they did Jax here, didn't they?
Yeah, it was. Now
And
it's
they banned
banned
2,
away.
but that's taken away. I think Thresh can work, Nautilus can work, Leona can work.
Don't say Thresh. Don't say Thresh.
They're just going to pick top lane. They're picking top. Okay, this is Fnatic strat on red side. They pick top lane on 3, they ban 2 out. This must be the direction that they think the best way to play the game is. But I think you've just kind of shown all your cards in a way, because what will happen now is when you're playing Vi, mid lane picks are quite limited to playmakers. You think of Ahri, LeBlanc, Lissandra as the primary 3, so Astralis can probably draft around that pretty handily. And then you've shown top lane and supports, well, they can decide to take some away if they're concerned, but it looks like they're not. Alistar could work, Nautilus can work. I think they have a plethora of options, but Fnatic's draft is kind of spelled out.
Certainly does feel that way. Straw's taking away the Twisted Fate just to make sure that Fnatic cannot try to leverage a Twisted Fate by combo to pick off some of the more vulnerable members of their team.
Yeah.
The members of their team. Akali now also taken away. So taking one leader champion away, taking one Finn champion away, it would seem. Although technically in our league, Kled is also a mid laner on occasion. Mostly for G2, however.
So what's the last ban? They take away something like Galio as well, maybe? We haven't seen who might play it. Maybe Lissandra could be good, but I think Sylas being up makes it so that's pretty easy to play into. 2 bans onto... So Renata's going to be the support they take away. I mean, they can go so many directions
They've
here.
been really nervous about this Renata. This is the most Renata attention I've seen in a while.
It is. What's Finn going to play here? I think into Olaf. It's a bit hard, even though considering he gets 2 bans. You kind of want to play something ranged, but Kennen's down, Jace is down. Could be a bit spicy, you know, play something like Vayne top, but that's not going to happen.
Ooh, yeah, I don't...
Gnar, Renekton is easy way. Yeah, Nautilus, I feel like Fnatic's draft has just kind of been... The story's been told. You're going to play a playmaker mid and you're going to be skirmish heavy. It's just, how does Astralis respond? Because I think they've got really powerful champions if they play, let's say, for example, Lissandra, Ahri, Olaf with Vi. That's a lot of threat in a skirmish in River. And I think Astralis will always fight fire with fire. Just a lot of the champions that I think that play around that well are obviously taken away. Kled and Akali are 2 of them with severe great engage. Akali can solo play.
Yeah.
Leader doesn't play LeBlanc, I think, so it's banned anyway. It's going to go Zed.
Okay, full
So
confidence here from the leader.
Yeah, we're going to get Zed. So this is how they answer their fire with fire. They will find champions that can skirmish really heavily. Does Finn just go Ornn here? I know it's a horrible matchup. Maybe something like Sion, Malphite, just something full tank that can get in there.
It's really difficult. This would be
that's
psycho.
not happening.
This is truly unhinged.
That matchup is unplayable.
There's no way.
I can tell you for a fact.
No.
Illaoi! Oh! I was wondering what was going on.
My God, this is 2 of the most obnoxious top laners in the game going head to head.
They're playing Zed Illaoi solo lanes. This is why I was just so patient. And
Do you need magic damage? Is magic damage a lie?
It
Mark,
is.
Is it just not important?
It just is. I mean, here's Lissandra. Shocker. I think Fnatic's 4-5 was kind of obvious. It was engage support or Ahri Lissandra. But yeah, we were just concerned what Astralis is going to play. I think Fnatic's comp very well rounded, very heavy meta, very powerful draft. Don't get me wrong. But Astralis find answers to everything, and they find. I mean, they found a Z angle. I'm not sure how much damage the leader can get done in this game against Vi Lissandra. He's going to have to use his ult very, very carefully, perhaps even defensively at times. Kobe will be the primary DPS. If this Illaoi falls behind, she's going to be useless. But if she can get even or ahead, her side lane threat is going to be insane. The problem is, I mean, they do have 3 mini champs. That helps a bit.
Yeah, and I think the other big struggles here is that you've got a knockup from Nautilus, you got a knockup from Vi, and if you CC an Illaoi and she's not able to push W in her ultimate, she doesn't do anything in a fight. Now, she does demand some CC attention, but as you highlighted, side laning the big reason you're going to pick her. I think when I look at Fnatic's game plan here, early to mid game, these skirmishes, they should be heavily favored. They should have a lot of tools to try to build a lead for themselves. Astralis is still great scaling options with the Sivir, but when it comes to 2-3-man skirmishes, I'm liking this Fnatic competition.
You know what's going to happen, right? They're never going to get a 5v5. I think Astralis is blundering if they give them a 5v5. Leader and a Finn are going to sit on side lanes and play the 1v2 outplays. Kobe is going to clear mid waves, and they're going to pressure sides, get towers, and Fnatic are going to be run around the map. It's on Fnatic to find points of engage, points of collapse, find objectives of it. But we're ready for game 2, Fnatic versus Astralis.
Nice, thank you so much for joining me. Talk to me about the Illaoi pick. What was your reaction?
I mean, we knew that they're playing Illaoi in solo queue, so we were kind of expecting it, but against tanks, and they picked it against Olaf, so we'll see.
And how do you feel about Fnatic's composition? I mean, Fnatic, you've not been criticised for the draft so far. So how do you think they're going to perform this time around?
I think we honestly misplayed a lot level 1 bot lane, and we got really far behind. And because of it, that game should have been unplayable. But we came back because Astralis usually misplays some fights and give opportunities to come back. But this time around, we just wanted to change a few things up, and then we did. And I feel like we have really strong draft.
We are seeing action on the wrist. Thank you so much, Nightshare. Let's head to the boys.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
That's it, Maokai.
There you go. He's like Astralis, they make mistakes. Bam, 113 dead. That's a coach curse. That ain't even a caster curse. And you can hear Berlin alive. Hoping Fnatic fans rejuvenated on the back of a very bold decision from the side of Astralis' jungler to invade there.
What was my man 113 doing there? He was
It's on
just
a walkabout, man.
He's just standing in their jungle.
He doesn't understand.
On a ward, gets collapsed on a dice, you know? Well, first spot over to Humanoid.
Dabbing Penguin, hit him with it.
Hey, he's just going to keep emoting. Wait, he's got both of them. Did you see that? Or was that the same one? We'll have to see.
I think
no,
it's
just the same one.
It's just the one.
So,
no,
is this both? Yeah, okay, it's
No, it's just,
it's
what
a
are you
animation. I don't know, I thought it was flickering between the two, but I didn't realize they were animated.
Okay.
I didn't know they could be
All
animated.
right.
That's insane. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, Humanoid, first blood, 500 gold lead, can't spend the money. So the game's kind of even right now anyway. No summoners blown. 113 was in time for his camps.
Fake gold lead.
Fake gold leads. At the end, yeah, I was going to say, get a good hook there.
And as long as Fnatic's bot lane keeps trading and don't let just Kabe leverage the lifesteal advantage from Doran's, this longsword 3-pot starts is going to feel pretty good. Already the early laning phase going much better for Fnatic overall. On the top side of the map, of course, we might not hear about a lot of action, but it is, for me, exciting. I love watching champions fight Alawi because she sucks. She's the worst champion in the game to play against.
God, brutal.
She's great if you're good at her. So what happens here is she's going to push E, and if she hits you with the E, you're going to get a little spectral ghost buddy, but that ghost buddy is not your buddy. She's going to hit you in the ghost buddy at the same time, and then you lose every trade until the lane is over. And I'm sorry, it's the most miserable champion to play against, but if Finn can do some work here, maybe Oscar and won't be able to fire back.
I've seen Bals FFS play Alawi, Prowler's Claw, 20 deaths, just one-shot people, so I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. He's getting pushed in early. I think Fnatic actually have 3 pushing lanes. You can see it there on the 3-lane view. Top, mid, and bot in great spots here for Fnatic. Looking for that cannon there. You can see Finn trying to punish him on it.
Again, the left-right posturing there you're seeing from Finn and Oscarin. And Oscarin can't walk forward to get the axe because if he does anything that makes his positioning predictable, Finn will hit E, Test of Spirit, and then the trade is over, and it's really hard to play the lane out.
Waves coming into him as well now. Oscar can try to get towards level 4. If he lands an axe, he definitely has all-in potential. You can see the items, Doran Shield for Finn, Doran Shield for a leader. They're playing defensive in these lanes. They know they'll be getting pushed in. Razork looking for this top crab. 1-3 is sneaking his way up here. Done his full clear. Trying to lane gank top, trying to cover Finn on this push out.
Big whiff on the E should mean that Oscarin is a little bit more comfortable to walk forward here.
Razork's mid though.
Razork ready to follow. Flash forward the snare. Good chain CC coming out. Now they're going to try to make it out of safety. Humanoid will survive. Gets the kill. The Treasure Hunter proc. So much money into the back pocket of Fnatic.
Very clean as well. Humanoid communicating that he'll flash roots so that they can land the VIQ. That's easily enough damage to get the kill. Humanoid tanks and flashes out. Great start for the mid jungle of Fnatic. They're ahead. They're playing 2 of the strongest playmakers in the early game. Now we need to see a little bit more from them when they get towards level 6, start dominating these side lanes, helping the rest of the team out. Razork already getting a little bit of information on this bot side jungle. He's going to use the sweeper towards the Krugs, towards the Raptors, trying to see where 113 is with that ward.
Looking for the knockout, forcing the flash out from Reckless. Clean play there. Fnatic looking to extend the trade just to try to make it positive in their favor, but overall, getting those summoners from Reckless is massive. Feels very similar to what we saw in Game 1, albeit a little bit later. 113 again, ready to come down to the bottom side and try to press this advantage.
He's going to get spotted though, he's on a ward. Razork's taken away his Raptors. Big camp lead now for Razork. Top crab is still up. 113 didn't go towards there despite hovering towards the top side of the map. Pink's going to come down, a little bit of vision with the sapling. And this is looking for something. So they overstep here. Cobb is trying to get the wave in, and I think they will. They're just trying to escort. Maybe misclick that plant. He sent the vision towards his own jungle. But dragging up in 3 seconds.
And I will say, you know, individual leads in the game aside, compositionally, I really love the Lissandra Vi a lot more than the Lissandra Maokai. So much more kill threat on the leader here in the mid lane. Yes, post level 6, it gets a bit easier for leader to try and outplay, but if Fnatic can keep this advantage, if they can keep getting Humanoid out of lane, this is going to be such a massive boon for the team. Right now, it's a 1,700 gold lead, split mostly across jungle and mid lane. It is that extra lost chapter for Humanoid, meaning he can keep up lane pressure, but we'll see if they can continue to snowball here.
Yeah, need to snowball into objectives or side dives, especially when they hit level 6. They have so much lockdown and power. It's like I said, so much different to playing Lissandra Maokai. Leader's going to get towards that level 6 as well. Finn a little bit behind against Oscar right now in the 1v1. Leader is same against Humanoid. Level 6 though should mean that Humanoid is relatively safe. But yeah, 2,000 gold down already, Astralis. This is not the game state they want, because I think Fnatic are just going to kind of roll over them in team fights if they give them a 5v5, so they need to get these solo lanes ahead.
Finn doing what he can there with the Tentacle Slam just to farm up. But as much as I talk about how obnoxious Alawi can be, she is highly dependent on a single ability. If she does not land it, it's so easy for Oscar Renan to win out on these trades. Right now, Finn most certainly on the back foot. Again, just doing what he can to pick up CS, but losing out in pressure overall here. Does hit the E, this is the big one. Big tentacle slapping down. Wow, isn't this fun, interactive gameplay? Look at everything Olaf could do to trade back there. Nothing, that's why he walked away. Just personal vendetta against this champion.
Finn's, he needs to be careful here. Oscar can all in it.
Another E continues, he's just gonna, oh my God. It's a healing battle! Welcome to Alawi, baby! She just hits you!
Oscar, he has the debuff on him, he needs to dodge. I think there might be another one coming in.
You just wait, you wait. The stat.
Oh.
No! Why would you
Oscar,
walk back?
be careful.
You have to kill 2 to stop the curse. He kills 2.
He stops the curse, but now Dragon Fight going on here. Fnatic need to contest this, see if they go in.
1-1-3 now, immediately Yonghun with a follow-up. They're trying to burn through everybody before the fight even kicks off. They manage to find 1 kill. Razork now stepping in. Leader's now used his ultimate. They're trying to finish off Humanoid, knowing that he has no ultimate to save him. Humanoid burned down. Kame still standing strong. 1 reset coming in for Lissandra, though the damage is going to be big. It's going to take Leader out in the fight. That's the frozen thrall. Kame taken out as well. Fnatic have the tools and they put them to use.
3 for 2. Fnatic come out ahead. Reckless picks up a double. Leader the same. Fnatic get the objective as well. Good turn there from the 4-man. You can see 1-1-3 went in straight away with Jonghoon onto Advien. The first kill went into Astralis' favor, but the consistent DPS from Fnatic was there. Nice little mode from Reckless there. So you can see here, watch the turn. 1-1-3 and Jonghoon instantly jump onto Advien, but that leaves the carries kind of free to hit. Razork gets in there. Humanoid drops his ult onto Jonghoon to try and get that kill. And then you can see Reckless joins the fight, and once he gets that lethal tempo stacked up next to Razork, they can start dishing out so much damage onto Leader, dodges the back half of that boomerang, and outranges Kobe on the auto attacks versus the Sivir. Nice.
And Lissandra passive.
Lissandra passive, yeah, so many resets in these fights. 100% KP for the mid jungle of Fnatic. They need to, I think, fight, as much as they won that fight, they need to look for fights more on their terms. I think they need to, once they've got these mid waves in, move towards Herald. Razork looks really strong right now alongside Humanoid. He's not gone for the Rod of Ages this time, he's gone for the Everfrost to help set up his jungler even more. Reckless sitting pretty with a 600 gold lead as well. Much different to that first game where we heard Nightshare talk about they messed up level 1, they fell behind, the game should have been lost, but we almost came back. Now they're sitting in a much more comfortable position.
Absolutely are. Again, almost completely individually built gold lead on the top side for Oscar Renan. The rest of the map playing well as a group here, and for Leader, this is a nightmare. Has flash, can poke a little bit, but can never really comfortably all in. Finn trading a bit back on the top side, but now that there's some additional healing for Oscar here, the lane does get a bit easier. Finn now stepping forward, knowing the curse is on and that Oscar has to back up.
Watch the minimap here. Advien's running from bot towards mid. He's a little bit late. Jonghoon's already there. Herald contest is slowly coming in. Finn has the top push. Jonghoon's helping Leader get that mid push. See if they can get Humanoid on the tower. See if they can get this objective first and turn on their own regard. So 4-man strong. 80 carries. 1v1ing towards bot. Does Fnatic fight? They have vision with the Scuttle Crab. I think they should definitely look for something here. Oscar doesn't have the ghost, but a lot of damage burst ready.
Tricky. Really need to calculate your damage output here. Disengaged from the Maokai, just trying to zone away. Leader threatening, has burned the Shadow now. 3k health, getting lower. Trying to reset the Herald now, it appears. They want to back away. Jonghoon now going in, he needs to leap right back out. Razork has been hit by the Tesla Spear. Now it's going to be Finn in the midst of everybody. Keep your eyes on that Alawi damage. They burned all their CC. They're going to burn through her before she can push a single button. No, they're not! The Alawi stays alive for just a little bit too long, but in the meantime, Fnatic are still taking fight. That's the reset. That's the Frozen Thrall. The knockback 1-1-3. Taken out. Will try to finish Humanoid, but that Sapperling will not connect on the bottom side of the map. Reckless taking plates. Everything going in favor of Fnatic.
Huge turnaround from game 1. Managing to win this Herald fight. They won the Dragon fight as well. So many kills going over to Fnatic in these early stages. You can see the difference this team looks like when they have so much playmaking behind them. Still 100% kill participation from Razork. Great game from him so far. They pick up the objective, they pick up the eye, and that's going to lead to even more gold for them. Astralis just don't have the damage, do they? They don't have the damage to get through Fnatic, who have so much power behind these champions with these ultimates. The Lissandra, the Vi, And you could see even Finn got a pretty good ult off, I have to admit, for a Herald fight.
But watch the CC. This is the thing. They burned literally everything on Finn to stop his ult from meaning anything in the fight.
Yeah, let's have a look at it then. So Razork gets hit by the knock-up here, I think it is, and then here comes a follow-through. Finn takes with the E.
Ulti.
Tries to land the ult, gets a couple of tentacles down, but you can see Oscar's going towards the top part of the map. Humanoid's just out of range of it. The next slap comes down after the chain CC onto Razork and the clone, but Jonghoon's 1v1ing the top laner. Leader's playing Zed, and he's done most of his burst, and 113 can't really help either, so just a consistent DPS is in favor of Fnatic. Yeah, they punished him.
And again, I think excellent target selection from Fnatic, splitting the fight up a bit, focusing down on the Jonghoon, burning both the Lissandra ult and the Vi ult onto the Alawi so she can't get, you know, multiple slams on that tentacle, on that ultimate.
Ooh, spotted by the sapling there. Razork was maybe looking for something towards mid. Herald's in Oscar's hands though, so it's kind of obvious which direction it's going to go. Oscar maybe looking for a little bit of damage onto Finn here. He has the Hydra, so he can lifesteal up pretty easily. God, I mean, Nightshare did talk about it in an interview. They picked Alawi into bruisers, not tanks. So if they fall behind here, Astralis and Finn doesn't manage to win 1v1 against Oscar, the whole value of the champ just kind of fades away.
Yeah.
Ooh, leader.
Leader locked up, Chain CC coming out. He's not even getting a chance to push that R button clean from the side of Fnatic.
So why is Lissandra Vi meta? You can see the power of the mid jungle in the early stages.
Look, all I'm saying is I'm bad, and if you put me on Lissandra, walked into my lane and said push R on that guy, we would kill someone every time, Kadril.
All right, we'll queue up tonight. We'll see how much magic we can do.
Humanoid is also not bad, which makes it that much easier. You know what I'm saying?
I know you can land it with the Everfrost. I believe in you. I trust you
It's
to
a
do it.
point-and-click ability, Kadril. I literally can't miss it. It's actually impossible.
But your pike hooks are pretty good, so I think
Thank you.
that helped. Hang on a second.
Well, here we go. Finn trying to trade back, but
What is that damage?
yeah. So, again, she reflects, the clone takes a certain amount of damage, and then you also take damage. So it's like Alawi's hitting you for 40 or 50% bonus damage. It's pretty big. That said, Oscar's just going to run in now that the E has fallen away, trying to heal this up. Humanoid coming over the wall, flash out from Finn, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult in this lane.
Flash for flash trade. Tried to land a flash Everfrost there. Humanoid didn't have the ultimate. Finn flashes away. Nothing else happens really. Oscar loses the ghost, but Dragon spawning in 1 second. You can see Humanoid maybe overcommitting up there. The problem is Fnatic, as much as they got that kill onto leader with Humanoid and Razork, they used both their ultimates to do it, and they're still on cooldown for this Dragon. Maybe they're going to be up in time if they can slow this down a bit. If they can get their ults, they're probably just going to wash Astralis away right now. They're in a very bad position in terms of being stacked up. Humanoid 7 seconds away on the
Jonghoon ready to get the fight kicked off. The Chain CC will have been up. Leader throwing so much damage down into the back line. Humanoid can't get into the fight quite yet, but now Astralis are on their retreat. They burn everything that they've got, and Fnatic are still standing.
Humanoid's ult is up. Leader's ult is still up as well. Reckless.
Sapling.
Stepping up.
Connect, big hook onto Kabe. The ultimate's coming out now to burn away the jungler to take the objective off the map. Fnatic stealing the Dragon, keeping the fight going. Kabe now running for his life, hitting extra movement speed off the passive. Jonghoon leaping over the wall. The Advian might try to follow up. Reckless flash forward. Spell shield now comes out. Kabe desperate to get back underneath the tower. They're trying to donate the kill. One more auto. The E to finish. Reckless on a rampage. Hand delivered by his jungler. Advian, bit of supportal combat there in the wolf pit.
Another 3 kills for Fnatic. They're just rolling them in these fights. Astralis, the initial engage from Jonghoon was good. Leader got chip damage down, but they just re-engage after their cooldowns are back up. Their ultimates return. And the E there missed from Finn. Doesn't have the flash either. Oscar, I'm not sure if he has the mana to juggle the axes to get the kill, but he wants to place the Herald down to get the gold. Probably is going to run away after this. Doesn't have the mana to take the fight, but yeah, I think this Fnatic comp, this 4-man is just so strong. There's really nothing Astralis can do to fight back. Sivir is just sitting on a Noon Quiver and a pickaxe right now. And that's your late game insurance. We'll see if Astralis can slow the game down, but they're not really prone to. They're always looking for these fights. So let's look at Jonghoon, because I think this turn was not too bad.
Instantly goes in. The CC very delayed though on the fall. And again, you can see Leader, multiple multi-target Qs and Es, but can't fully commit in the fight.
Yeah.
And when the re-engage here comes in for Fnatic, credit one to Razork for an incredible steal here, but also the patience from Fnatic not to overcommit until they had their cooldowns back up again.
Yeah, heals Razork and says go in and take this Dragon. They manage to pick it up. Reckless stays next to his jungler. His leader tries to go in. Humanoid instantly pops the ult onto the Zed, and that's the weakness Zed has. He can get locked down so easily, and then all your burst is gone. Astralis have to run. Jonghoon eventually dies. Kobe does die. It's actually 4 kills in total over to Fnatic. See if they can pressure this bot tier 1. Razork's hovering around. Jonghoon's here to cover leader. Looks like he'll be able to catch the wave.
Look, game 1 was a back and forth, but this is slaughter. You know, Fnatic, yes, they were essentially gifted a kill at level 1, but they've been playing so well with that advantage. Humanoid now in trouble, or not. Oh my God, yeah, Jonghoon, just dance it off, buddy. That's a toughie.
Yeah, he knows he just got made fun of a bit there by Humanoid. Doesn't land the W. And now Fnatic own the bot side of this jungle. I don't think leader can stay under tower anymore. That tower is going to fall. Oscar is pushing top as well. Looks like Astralis might look mid. If 113, yeah, he's going for the flash.
Flash in. Reckless not going to be trouble. Knockback under the tower, but still trying to finish off. Gets one back. Credit to Reckless for making it a 1-for-1.
Massive kill there from Reckless. Manages to trade back, like you said. Shutdown goes over to 113. Ideally, that went over to Kobe, and then they can start slowing the game down. But now that he's dead, you won't be able to pick it up. Tower falls top. Tower falls